Hey, welcome to Pinterest in 10 minutes a day, where I am here to empower busy moms. Take control of your online business in just 10 minutes a day using Pinterest marketing. My goal is to teach you the ins and outs of do-it-yourself Pinterest marketing, share success stories, and provide actionable steps to help you grow your online business. Get ready to learn how to make the most out of your limited time and resources and achieve big results. We're going to dive into Pinterest today. And the biggest thing I want to cover is how to save time and get more clients as a Pinterest VA. So I wanted to share a success story, but also provide actionable tips on what this student did who went through the POG Academy to be able to take on more clients as a Pinterest VA, but also shave time off her clients. So even though she took more clients in and saw better growth with them, she also shaved time to where she wasn't working as much, which is totally awesome. So it is such a good question, is how, like, as a Pinterest VA, you're limited on how many people you can take based off the time you have. So how can you make more money and bring in more clients, but still not have to pile on more time on top of that, right? So my student who's a Pinterest VA, her clients' numbers were drastically dropping. She said her views were dropping over 1,000, sorry, I get my zeros mixed up, 100K, so 100,000 a week for the past month. She was adding 10 fresh pins, which are brand new pins every single day. And she was doing so much work for this one client, but yet her numbers were just dropping, okay? And sometimes this can be the case when there's different holidays or different stuff like summer season. We kind of go into the slower time, but it shouldn't be dropping that drastically. And she was spending so much time where she was able to spend as much time with her other clients. And it was just really hard. She was starting to get in a really big pinch with this client, and she needed more money and more clients, but she also didn't have enough time in the day for that with this specific client's number dropping. So what did she do? She actually took the jump, took the leap, and she invested in the POG Academy, which is Pinterest Organic Growth Academy, where you learn A to Z about Pinterest marketing. So I know a lot of people are like, well, I know my profile and I know this, I just need a strategy. It doesn't matter, because chances are it's going to give you a refresher and you're going to still take bits away. I've had students go through the academy multiple times. But these are the 3 action things that she actually did as she went through the POG Academy to really change her VA strategy with Pinterest and start seeing more growth, okay? The very first thing she did was, oh, I wanted to tell you at the end, we're going to tell you how this changed. So she went from doing 10 brand new pins a day. She's spending a ton of time, and 100,000 monthly views were dropping. Now, that was just the best numbers she did looking at views, but traffic and saves were dropping as well, okay? So the first thing she did is she developed a system in place of setting a level expectations before accepting clients. And she educated her current clients on these expectations. She made sure they understood that Pinterest was a search engine and it can take 6 to 9 months to see results. She helped these clients understand that it's a long-term commitment, and she gave them this mindset, and she had this mindset as well. When you have a client that you just started and they just pay this money for a 1 month or a 3 month package, they are hot on your tail, wanting to see those numbers just spike up and grow. But what they don't understand is it's a search engine. It takes time. Even when you get your profile set up and you change it to where, I don't want to say even when you get your profile set up, but if you've set up your profile, but it hasn't been set up the best way to attract your clients, when you adapt that profile and edit it, it can still take a month or 2 months or 3 months to actually get that profile back in the Pinterest system with those keywords, with that niche, to drive more traffic and saves and clicks. Okay. So she developed that system in place. She educated her clients so that they're not breathing down her neck, and you don't stress about your mindset and they don't stress about that, because it is really important for your clients to understand that Pinterest is a long-term strategy. It's a search engine. I even recommend having, like, don't do less than a 3 month container for Pinterest clients, because it really does take 6 to 9 months with a good strategy in place to see that growth. Okay. The second thing she did is she made sure she followed efficient and effective ways to gather keywords, and she used these in the profile. So when she got a new client, she went through and did an entire profile audit, which this is all in the POG Academy as well. She did an entire profile audit and made all the changes that she needed to make. She redid the keywords and really updated this client's profile. So she was working from all the right resources and tools and not working from an already sinking boat. So she went through and updated this profile. So really make sure that before you take on a client or as soon as you take on a client, there is that fee of updating their profile before you even start doing pins and stuff. Because if their profile isn't working and bringing them the clients you want, it doesn't really matter how well your strategy is if the profile is still holding you back. So really making sure you have keywords and a profile that is set up for success from the beginning as a Pinterest VA, okay? That is going to save so much time and help you with growth, okay? The third thing is she developed a strategic and simplified strategy in place for each client. So she used the same overall strategy for each client and was able to adapt it for each client as well. So this is one of the biggest changes she made, and she saw the best results within 2 weeks of joining the POG Academy by changing this. So instead of spending hours with templates and adding 10 new pins a week or 10 new pins a day, she actually took the POG Academy, which is a 10-minute a day manual pinning strategy. And so many VAs are turned off by this, and so many people are turned off by this because when you hear manual pinning, you're like, manual labor, it takes so much time, which really isn't the case because it's following Pinterest best practices, okay? So you are going to swap from creating so many pins to so many different URLs into a 10-minute manual pinning strategy. And when she did this, she was actually able to understand what Pinterest want and needed for each client, and she was able to cut her time down to 10 minutes a day per client, and she was able to take on more clients and see that growth. So after the POG Academy, I wanted to share this. She increased her clients' views 500,000 in just 2 weeks. So she did the POG Academy. She started doing the POG method of pinning, and in 2 weeks, those monthly views increased 500,000, which is super awesome. So not only did she save her client who was getting kind of hot feet, cold feet, and trying to jump out of there, right? But she was also on the verge of breaking her contract because numbers are dropping so much. So she was able to turn this down peak drop of traffic into reversal and head back up with the manual pinning strategy. Okay. So 3 things to take away is really making sure as a VA, you have those expectations set up before you even sign them as a client. Okay. If they still have in their head that it is a quick win platform and they're willing to pay you, I don't recommend accepting them as a client because chances are they're going to cause you a lot of problem in the long run. Okay. 2, make sure you really have those keywords and that profile set up for success from the start as soon as you take them on as a client. And 3, develop a strategic, simplified strategy for your clients. Understand the Pinterest basics. Don't go way and overboard because sometimes way overboard with all of these pins and all these templates is too much for Pinterest. They want you to be on the platform. They want you to show up. They want you to be consistent and add value. And you're going to learn all of that in the Pinterest Organic Growth Academy. And that is the biggest way to save as a VA is really developing a strategy in place for each client versus taking each client as their individual. Yes, each client is their own individual, but when you have this foundation to work from that you can turn each client into their own person, you are going to see growth with Pinterest. You're going to get more clients and have less time needing to work with those clients, okay? So it's a win-win for everyone all around when you really do get a solid foundation in place that you can work from and then tweak that a little bit for each client. So let's cover the action step or what you can do as a Pinterest VA to save time with your work. Is I want you to spend time, 30 minutes or so, not really an hour, but about 30 minutes and write down a strategy and put systems in place. Write down the 3 things you're going to cover before a client says yes. They need to understand X, Y, and Z about Pinterest. Put that system in place. Make sure you have contracts that are there to support both of you. Doing minimal contracts for a week at a time or a month at a time is really hard for you to even see growth and see what's working. And it's just an easy way for those clients to jump out when they get cold feet. So really putting systems in place that allow you as a VA to take control. And then also just gaining that confidence. So that's also what the POG Academy did. I've had so many VAs go through and they're like, I knew Pinterest really well. So a lot of this academy just gave me that confidence to really say, oh, she does know what she's talking about. And then there were also different gems along the way that they were able to tweak to even improve even better. So really giving yourself that confidence that you do know what you're talking about. They are paying you to do Pinterest, which means they don't know near as much about Pinterest as you, and own that. Own that mindset that you do know what you're talking about. Okay, back to the action steps. So I got off on a little tangent. One, spend the time writing down strategy that is a base foundation strategy that you will do this for every client. Like you're going to make sure they have a list, you have a list of keywords to work from, their profile in place, and write down a little pinning strategy for them. Make sure you also have those systems in place and that initial I don't know what the word of it, but that initial point of understanding of Pinterest and how it works so that those expectations for both of you are aligned, okay? Stick to consistency, be confident, and you're going to grow that business, okay? So I would love to hear any thoughts or any questions about this. What has worked for you as a Pinterest VA? What hasn't worked for you as a Pinterest VA? And kind of get this discussion going. And if you are looking into doing Pinterest VA or you're looking to grow your Pinterest strategy, then definitely check out the Pinterest Organic Growth Academy. You go to sharicemerrill.com/POG. That is POG. Learn more about it and grow that strategy. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you have any more questions, please post them in my free Facebook group. Go ahead and search Woman on Pinterest and I will gladly answer them for you there. Okay, guys, bye for now.